The plaintiff, Tyler Winklevoss and Cameron Winklevoss, are accusing Mark Zuckerberg for grand larceny in the second degree. In the New York Penal Code, under Article 155, Section 40, the law states that a person is guilty of grand larceny in the second degree when he steals property and when the value of the property exceeds $50,000. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss are suing Mark Zuckerberg for larceny, claiming that the Harvard connection is the genesis of Facebook, a company that is estimated at close to $53 billion, with the value going up each year. Mark Zuckerberg stole the idea from Tyler and Cameron and is now profiting off of it. The twins have begun working on the concept of the Harvard connection from December of 2002, 2 years before Facebook surfaced on the internet. On November 23, 2003, Tyler and Cameron had arranged a meeting with Mark, asking him to develop the Harvard connection. The Winklevoss twins explained to Mark that the idea behind the site, clearly stating that it was a place to share information and connect. He also stated that the site would have two sections, one for dating and one for connections. Students would be able to post pictures for themselves, put in some personal information, and try to find links with one another. Harvard Connection could bring people together based on their personalities. The idea behind Facebook is very similar to that of the Harvard Connection. Both the Harvard Connection and Facebook have almost an identical notion, connecting people through social networking. However, the original intention of the Harvard Connection was all for people like Tyler and Cameron to meet girls. Yet it has come to my attention that the purpose of Facebook was for the same thing, sex. The thing that would drive this social network was the same thing that drove life at college, sex. What is the difference between these two sites? Nothing. Simply that one, Facebook, is profiting, while the other, the Harvard Connection, is not. In 2009, Forbes.com claimed that Facebook valued at close to $11 million. Today, Facebook is now worth $54.34 billion, all from an idea that was stolen from the twins. Mr. Zuckerberg can clearly be found guilty of grand larceny in the second degree by stealing property, the idea of the social networking site that now values $54 billion, an amount exceeding $50,000.
Mark Zuckerberg versus Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss. The defendant, Mark Zuckerberg, is accused of violating Article 155.4 grand larceny in the second degree by the plaintiff, Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss. In New York State law, it is stated that the person is guilty of grand larceny in the second degree when he steals property and when the value of the property exceeds more than $50,000. The defendant is said that his own social network website, Facebook, which earns more than $50,000, is actually based on the idea of Winklevoss twins. They offered Mark Zuckerberg to work with them on their website called Harvard Connection for selfish reasons, and sent the internet codes for the website to force him to work on it. As he worked on the Harvard Connection, he also launched his own website called Facebook and attempted to open it. Because Facebook was created at the same time as the Harvard Connection, the twins claimed that Mark Zuckerberg stole their idea for the website. However, there is no proof that shows Facebook is based on the Harvard Connection. Therefore, the defendant, Mark Zuckerberg, is innocent. Facebook is exactly the idea of Mark Zuckerberg, and it is not related to Harvard Connection. At first, it was about moving a real social network onto the web, and not about the opportunity to meet enough choice girls that the Harvard Connection wanted it to be sold. It was an interactive social network. Also, Eduardo Saverin, the co-founder of the Facebook, testifies that the one place he was pretty sure Mark didn't have the stroke of genius was while hanging out with the Winklevoss twins. However, the truth is that the Winklevoss twins had completely misread Mark Zuckerberg. They kept thinking that he had the same thrill and excited about the project, but it was just a thought that they had, and actually he was not. There were kids all over the campus who were trying to build websites, and Mark Zuckerberg might think that the Winklevoss twins were just one of them as he was. He chose to work on his own project before he would work on others, and that's what people usually decide to do. Therefore, it is clear that Facebook is a completely different idea from the Harvard connection, and Mark Zuckerberg has never violated any ground blasphemy in the second degree. Thank you.
Mark asked a third party, Mr. Eduardo Severin, to cooperate with him in developing Facebook. Eduardo helped Mark by giving him money for Facebook to operate. If Mark believed that he was not stealing the idea from the twins, why did he not ask them for the money? He knew that they were wealthy. This action shows that Mark had reason not to ask them for money. He knew that he was stealing their idea and did not want them to know about it. On January 14, 2004, Mark sent an email to the Winklevoss. It reads, "Most of the coding done. It seems like everything is working. Got some classwork I have to get done. Be back at it soon." There were 52 emails that were sent between Mark and the twins that had been like progress reports that indicated that the programming was moving steadily along. As the emails continued, Mark started to bring up problems he was having with the Harvard connection. These were problems that he had never mentioned before. The twins believed that if Mark could not get the website together within a few weeks, they would find a new program. Then, on February 4th, 2004, Facebook surfaced on the internet. All of those times that Mark claimed that he was busy with schoolwork can be interpreted as him purposely delaying the work of the Harvard connection so that Facebook could be launched. The twins believe that if Harvard connection was launched before Facebook, then what is now Facebook would have been the Harvard connection.
Firstly, the Edward Sabrin is not related to this case, which is the ground blasphemy in second degree Mark Zuckerberg versus Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss. Also, Mark Zuckerberg might think that Facebook is a completely different idea from the Harvard connection, and when he decided to open the Facebook first, he may not think about the Winklevoss twins, though they were rich, and he just asked Edward Sabrin who was rich